Today I'm going to be showing you how I converted my office into 3 different setups. So I have different interests, different passions, but all these different passions are unified by just one thing, and that is making videos. So I wanted to be able to create an office space where I can separate these different types of videos. So this office space, which can technically be a bedroom, is not that huge. It's maybe only 4 meters by 4 meters wide, and it was empty, so I had to paint it. I had to basically decorate the entire space, and I think I like how it has turned out, considering for the last maybe 1 year I haven't changed anything. I haven't added anything or removed anything, so I think I'm at a good place with it. But yeah, this is my main setup. This is where my main channel, where I talk about filmmaking, photography, video making, and all that. Currently I'm in the process of making my first movie, so follow me for more of that. But this is where I sit. This is where, I talk to the camera like this, and this is what you'll probably be seeing more often. Then if I'm outputting it for TikTok or Instagram, then it means most likely what you'll see is this palette here. I don't know how to, yeah, that is what you'll probably be seeing. So I wanted to make sure I can have a blend of both. But what if I want to talk, and let's say I'm doing a tutorial where I need, to use the screen? That's where this setup comes in. And for this setup, yes, you can see my laptop on this end, and you can also see my monitor. So again, this is more of just a stylistic preference where I don't need to really show this entire monitor, even if it's cut out, which I think it is, because the lens is currently at 20 millimeters. I think, to me, that it's just a stylistic preference. But if I want, I can go even wider at 17, and it shows more of that. But usually I just prefer to leave it at 20 so that I can have more of a consistent, field of view. And here it's basically where I can just talk while also doing a tutorial. Let's say I want to show a software or things like that. You don't want to keep moving back and forth between like looking straight, then turning to look at the monitor. So that's why I prefer this. Plus, again, most of the time I will be cropped anyway, because probably I'll just use like a tiny part of my face on the corner of the video, and then everything else is being screen recorded. So that's where this setup comes in. I might tweak this over time, but I don't think it will be that drastic. Maybe I'll add just something simple, maybe like a plant, or maybe something, just something green. I'd like to bring more green, because as much as this wall is green, I feel like when it comes to the video, it doesn't show how, I don't think it becomes so vibrant. And I have some fake flowers there, which probably at some point I'm going to change them to real plants. But because of the cold here in Scotland, sometimes the plants can wither very quickly. And also the issue with having a proper plant there is it might start following the light, which means it will start maybe bending a lot, which may or may not be a good thing. So that is something I'm going to maybe consider in future. And yeah, that is my first setup for my Diaz Nash channel. So again, check it out, subscribe, and yeah, follow for my filmmaking stuff. Now let me show you my second setup, which is for my travel channel, which I've done for several years, and that is called Nina Form. And I mean, it's not very, very different from this. So I'm just going to move up my camera, and there you go. So I need to do one thing, and this is my second setup for my Nina Form channel, where I do travel videos. And sometimes, traveling is expensive, so sometimes you're just at home, and also I have a full daytime job. So sometimes maybe I just want to make a video, maybe explaining like an itinerary, or things to do in a place, or maybe just talking in general about a certain travel. And this is now my setup for that Nina Form channel. One thing you'll notice is I don't have the symmetry, which means that is something I'll have to come and fix at some point. But the one thing I really like about this setup is the shelf there, which you can see I have my logo there in a form, which lights up. So I like that. So it gives it maybe just a different feel to my other channel, which is now my personal branding channel. So this is purely for travel, and again, I can talk about whatever. For this, actually, I don't even need to move the camera much. I don't need the monitor. So I'm just using that, like as a showcase, really. Personally, I don't mind this setup a lot when it comes to landscape. But again, yes, I do have a challenge when it comes to vertical. So that is something I'll have to fix. And as you can see, I also have like a DJ deck back there, which is something I've also been practicing. my DJ skills. Like I said, I have many passions. I pursue everything that I have interest in. So yeah, once in a while I'll do like a video mix, DJ mix. So yeah, that's why that's permanent there. I can't keep moving it in and out. For me in this office, nothing really moves much. Everything tends to just sit where it is, apart from the camera and also the light, which actually, let me just use my phone to show you what you're seeing. And yeah, I'll put it on wide. So basically that's the camera with my iPad, which I use as a monitor. Then there's the light. So just on that stand, it's a cheap stand, cheap tripod, so nothing fancy really. And I have a heater because yeah, this room during winter it gets very, very cold. But yeah, that's my very, very simple setup, and I have kind of already shown you what the next setup is going to be. And this is my third YouTube setup. Now, as you can see, this is not really polished and it doesn't look very well thought out. And that is because there's two doors. So there's this door here, and behind this door, this is where I usually put like, the cleaning products for the house, and also where I put my camping stuff. And once in a while, I'll put also the camera here. Because of this door, I don't really like this setup as much because I feel like it's too plain, it's too empty. So I need to do something about this. I can't remove the door because I think that will also be a fire hazard. But I think I'm going to put like a big mesh or like a big net. I'm sure you've seen some videos of that where there's like a net, then you can put different things like keyboards, a mouse, or some of maybe old tech that you don't use. Like I have a few old iPods which maybe I can hang there neatly, and maybe on this other side I can also put a light. But one other thing that I also will do is move this picture, because this picture behind me, unfortunately, it's not level. So when I open the main door, let me just set up my phone so that I can explain this better. When I put this picture up here, my assumption was this door will most likely be open most of the time. So when I open this door, the picture is actually level. So it's kind of in the middle of that door and that door, but that is only when this door is open. But the problem is this room tends to be very, very cold, especially during winter. That's why I have the heater behind me. So I kind of feel like I don't need this picture to be here, because like I said, my assumption was that door will always be open. But now I'll have to move this picture slightly so that it's exactly in the middle of this wall. Therefore, that is going to solve two problems. Number one, it means most likely this door will no longer be in the frame, and that door will also not be in the frame. Therefore, I will be sitting somewhere in the middle of this wall. I will have technically managed to hide most of that door. And then, once it's closed, it means I can maybe put like a light here, which will be more attractive compared to having just that white door there. And on this side, again, I can also maybe just put a light somewhere here, or I can put maybe plants, like, a standing plant. But then this picture now is going to be here in the middle instead of where it is. So that is my third setup. And that, again, probably that I will use it more often for the travel videos, because I feel, because of this map. But when it comes to the travel channel, to be honest, I don't think, the symmetry is very, very important. But when it comes to the filmmaking channel, I think, you have to show you actually know what you're talking about, and also people are going to judge you by how your space looks like. And that is my third setup. But I think I also have maybe more options on things that I can do with this office. For example, I can switch to my shelf, and with the shelf here, I can also now create probably another setup, which I think I also like it because it introduces something else in the office, which I actually like, which is that kind of mask which is hanging there. Now is when I'm noticing that light has so much fingerprints. I'll probably need to clean that at some point. But yeah, this is another setup which I can use. Again, I like because there's that DJ thing there. I think it's more of a chill, playful kind of setup, but again, very minimal. But I also feel like this space here is a bit too empty, which means it will be best to try and bring in something here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a light, or maybe plants, or maybe I can even move my shelf to sit here, which I think that would be cool. But the problem with that shelf, moving it, is it holds my server and all that. So, that is going to now create an issue which I'm trying to avoid, which is I don't want to be moving things back and forth. So yeah, maybe I might consider buying another shelf where I can just have here, and more of a stylish thing. So that is setup number 4. And finally, I think maybe I can just extract again a setup from this section. Maybe you tell me what you think. And this is the car channel setup. So I'm toying around with starting a car channel where, again, I love so many things and I like doing them all. So I have a car channel where, I once in a while, it's not really like a big thing, and it's only once in a while when maybe I get an interesting car, I can decide to do like a very, very quick short review of that car. And yeah, it's called Nash on Cars. I mean, it has only like 2 subscribers. I haven't even shared it anywhere. So yeah, if you want to check it out, check it out. I think I have only 2 or 3 videos on there, with my latest video being reviewing the Range Rover Evoque 2025. Very nice car. But yeah, this is my car channel setup, which I think I'll need again to put more thought into this. But one thing I already like is I have these toys, which, these are the kind of toys we used to play with when we were kids. People, I wasn't very artsy, but there were people who were very artsy, and they could make cars like these using bottle tops, just a wire. Then, you'd put a steering. So there will be another long wire, which was a steering. So people will just walk around like driving their, toy cars. So when I bought these two items when I was back in Kenya, I mean, I really like them because, they are very like nostalgic to me. And I thought, yeah, this will fit for a car channel. So yeah, that shelf, I think this is where it comes to life when you're talking about cars. And again, it's something I can also customize. I can change it to anything. I can remove the cars and I can put maybe cameras on there. I can remove it, put anything on there. But again, the only challenge I have is on this side, because like you can see, there is my DJ deck. Therefore, I feel like if I remove this, I might be able to just bring in maybe another item. So for example, let's say it's this car, and I can have that, just somewhere there. And yeah, something like that. Again, something I'll have to play around with a lot so that I can find the perfect setup for this. So all I need to do is just be able to buy a few items and I put them on the table and on this other end, so that it also comes alive as a setup on its own. And yeah, that's it. Those are my setups. Personally, I like them. So but yeah, go ahead, leave some comments, opinions down below, what you think I should do better, what I should drop. And yeah, I'd be happy to see your ideas on how best I can improve this office space. Until next time, see ya on the next video.